Well, good morning. Welcome to Just for Today. I'm Lisa Kaye with Promise Resource Network, and going to give folks just a few seconds to jump on with me in the morning if they can this morning. Just for Today is an early morning offering. Um, just it's a slogan from the room in AA and Al-Anon, and what it means is that can we hear something, see something, experience something, even if it's just for today, that we could add to our recovery, add to our journey, add to the things that we're working on, we're building, we're experiencing. Um, it was one of my favorite slogans that I held near and dear, and I still use it today. So many times I go, you know what, just for today, I can handle this. I can do this. I can try this. So hopefully you'll hear something from me or from somebody in the chats that you can grab a hold to and go, you know what, even if it's just for today, I'm going to try that today. Good morning, Miss Roberta. Glad to see you are on. Let me know you're out there. Today will be the last just for today for 2021. Friday, we are closed, and I am going to take that time for some self care and do some things I need to do for me as I knock on the door to 2022. Um, this has been a great year for Just for Today. It's been a great year for PRN. It's been a great year for recovery. So many wonderful things have happened. Yes, we've been challenged in many areas, and we have had a lot of changes. Um, so we know that, as we think about going into 2022, this is a time, these last few days, we decide, good morning, Kim, we decide to really do an inventory. I like to call it the inventory. People like to say, it's change or whatever, but we really start thinking about, what can we do going to be different, to really look back to say what worked for me this year, what didn't work for me this year. What are some things in my life that were not helpful? And how can I get better, right? How can I get better? How can I have a better year than I had last year? So that's what we're all usually are thinking about these last couple of days. And hopefully, we can come up with some solutions. Sometimes we start out with a roar into our new year, and sometimes it fizzles. Well, this year, we're gonna talk a little bit this morning about just having some grace around that. Everybody starts out, oh, I want to lose this weight. I want to quit smoking, and they go down this big long laundry list. And those are great goals, right? Those are great goals to have. But also, we're going to talk a little bit more about our spiritual, our inner, because part of the reasons that we kind of stumble around our goals is because we haven't strengthened our recovery. We haven't strengthened our spiritual walk, our soul. Because when times get tough, when the sugar cravings start happening, we find ourselves in the kitchen loading up on carbs and gaining all the weight back that we just lost. Or we quit smoking or whatever habits that we do, and we haven't done some internal work first. So our tank is kind of empty. So we don't have anything to draw on to kind of help us through when times get tough. I don't know about you. When I start a diet, the first couple of days are pretty good. I'm really pumped up about it. I take special care in prepping food, and then things get in the way. Life happens, work happens, family happens, and then it's just easier to pull through the fast food to get that burger and fries. Because when you go home, you're tired, you don't have time to prep, you're empty. You have you've let the outside kind of control you that day, and you put yourself last, not even close to first. For us to give ourselves grace, that for us to realize that we got to work some internal stuff. That's what we're going to talk about this morning as we end 2021 with Just for Today and head into 2022, which I'm most excited about. is what do we need to do, in the inside work before some of this outside stuff that we work on. You know, some of us want to lose weight because we want to look better, not feel better, but look better, right? And that's just not what I want to go into 2022 thinking about, because I want to work on my heart. I want to work on my spirit. I want to work on all of those internal things, because I believe that that's where my sickness is. That's where my unwellness is. For me to work on some of these things like stop smoking, exercise more, lose some weight, all of these things that can get really hard if I am not good on the inside, if I am not consciously aware of taking care of me. So, as you set those goals, as you think about that, wonder about what's going on the inside. So, we're going to talk about something this morning that I think is a key for that. And at least for me anyway. So, what I always tell you guys, this is about, I do this for me, not for you. If you get something out of it, great. But this is my accountability. This is my part of my recovery. So let's see who's out there this morning, and then we're going to jump into it because I have to head to Charlotte, and I know the rest of us have to head to work or whatever we're doing. Maybe you're off this week and you're watching this later. Enjoy your time off, and we'll pick back up in the first of the year. So we got Miss Roberta on saying, Dad's death sent me into a tall spin. Absolutely, darling. I am so sorry. It has been better this year. I need to give myself time and grace. Absolutely. A big change. Loss is a great big change to navigate our world without that person, right? Especially a parent that you've had your entire life, right? And that relationship has evolved, and where they took care of us, and then it kind of evolves to where we are taking care of them, right? Good morning, Tara. Good to see you on this morning. So Roberta, I'm just lifting you up this morning, and I know you are a strong and resilient lady, and I know that as you grieve and go through your process, that you will do what you need to do to grow in this, and you will come out of this. And I only say that from experience, having an extreme loss in my life myself. I know that, and it is it's a hard place to be, but you keep doing the work, and keep coming on to classes, keep doing the things that you need to do to keep yourself well as you go through your grieving process, which is a natural process that I believe our higher power gave us so we could continue our walk on this earth without people walking beside us that we love dearly. So I just send that out to you in the universe, Roberta. We love you so much. And if you ever think about coming back to Charlotte, we'll take you, okay? But until then, we are here for you. Give us a call if you need anything extra or just need somebody to talk to. Miss Kim answers that phone, and she will talk with you as well as get you to whoever you need to talk to this morning. All right, guys, let's jump in this thing this morning. Good orderly direction. If you notice, that acronym of the first letters of that is GOD. At PRN, we don't specify what the higher power is, or we don't claim a certain religion or affiliation. We respect everybody's walk in their spiritual world, in their who they reach up to for their direction, and refer to as their higher power or their God. So please don't think that I am promoting any one thing or one religion, because I'm not. We don't do that. Of course, those of you who know me, we may have shared intimately my beliefs, but I just thought this was pretty cool. We hear a lot of folks refer to God as their higher power, and that can mean different things to different people. But the acronym, good orderly direction. So that's what we're going to talk about. I don't know if you had good orderly direction in 2021. You may have. Good morning, Miss Darlene. But going into 2022, Two, that is one of the things that I wanted to bring to you this morning, this good, orderly direction. We're going to be talking about humility. There is freedom in humility. Um, and I love the recovery work that I did on this because of the fact that I could so relate to what they were talking about. So we're going to read this morning from my material, and then we're going to jump in and see your thoughts about this. We don't talk enough about humility and what that actually means. I think it's a term word that's thrown around and not really dug in deep. And so I'm going to challenge you this morning to dig in deep and listen a little bit about this and see if there's something you can grab to take into 2022 with you. So let's get started this morning. I want to first give a little bit of information about this before we dive into what our recovery material says here. Good morning, Aaron Wells. Glad to see you are on this morning. Okay, pull it up here. I hope you guys are planning a great way to end 2021 and bring in 2022. No matter what that is, just to kind of celebrate. And I hope you'll go out of 2021 thinking positive and reflecting on what went well and solutions to what didn't go well instead of just sitting in it. Because we can list out a lot of stuff that didn't go quite our way in 2021, just like we can every year that ticks off. But I challenge us this morning as we think about our 2021 to not sit in it, have humility, have grace, but also think about I don't want to go down that path again. I don't want to repeat that for 2022. Stay solution focused as you think back on your year. So, all in all, humility is a pathway. I love this, to toughness and resilience. I claim to be one of those tough people. Sometimes I stand behind it. Sometimes I hide behind it. um, but in my recovery, I do want to be tough. I do want to be tough. But humility is a pathway to toughness and resilience. So here are a few thoughts about humility to see if you can resonate with it. And then we're going to jump in this recovery stuff. It's not thinking less of yourself, it's thinking of yourself less. Ooh, hear that? It's not thinking less of yourself, it's just thinking of yourself less. Think about that. Being of service to others. When we are wrong, we promptly admit it. Yep. Not caring about who really gets the credit. If you're a part of a team, whether it's in church, work, are you someone that has to have the credit? Can you do things in secret for the better of the good and nobody even knows it was you? That is practicing humility. Remember, if you want to get tough in your recovery, can you go and work hard and nobody even knew it was you? Can you let someone else take the credit when you're the one that was the backbone of the project? Right? This is how we get tough in our recovery. Doing the next right thing. Humility is extended for a good person who wants to get better. A form of spiritual fitness. We practice humility. That's what I was talking about before. You can go out there and exercise to get the outside or get your heart pumping. But sometimes we fail at some of that because we haven't worked on that spiritual fitness. So when times get hard, do we still go to the gym? When we get disappointed in life, do we fall back into those addictions of carbohydrates and sugars to lift us up really quickly? And then we fall really hard. Those things that we're really working on, quitting smoking, right? Are we tough enough to quit smoking in our spirit? Are we tough enough to let go of excess sugar in our spirit? Or other things that harm us, toxic relationships? We can just go on, right? We can have best intentions, but are you doing some exercises that toughens up that spiritual fitness? Practicing humility is one of the ways to do that. Um, Asking, not telling. Well, guys, I'm an only child, and I tend to be a little bossy boss sometimes. My best friend tells me all the time. That's one of the things that I can practice um, is start asking. It's my tone instead of telling, right? So that is a way to practice and get tough in your spiritual walk, in your humility, is thinking about how you put things, right? Instead of telling, asking. Would it be helpful? We learned this in peer support. Good morning, Chris. Um, we learn how we ask questions and be curious about others. That is a way to practice humility. Be more about what that person's about, right? So ask instead of tell. A conscious effort to not think about myself, or else I will think about myself. Not having to one up people. Do you know that person? Are you one of those people that I have someone, it was a toxic relationship that I am no longer a part of or allow in my sphere of serenity. But for many years, this person was in there and I'll allow them in there. But they were one up in everybody, no matter what the subject was, who was telling the story. This person had to one up every time. And it didn't matter if that person had any kind of experience around the subject. It could be anything this person would one up, right? They didn't really listen to understand and appreciate you. They were constantly digging in their memory banks to one up you. Oh, you think that was bad? Let me tell you what happened to me. Are you one of those people? Think about it. Maybe you are a little bit. Maybe you hadn't even thought about it. Or maybe someone is like that in your life and you know how it feels. Rooting for everyone and honesty. Um, One of the things that we talk about a lot is being a part of a recovery community, rooting for everybody, getting out of that selfish thinking. When we are not well, um, we're not taking good care of ourselves. We are thinking about ourselves, but it's not in a good way, right? We're consumed with the negative. We're consumed with destruction. Um, we know in recovery, we want to be the voice that lifts everyone up and encourages everyone, root for everyone, not sitting in judgment, right? But rooting for everyone, you know? And that can be hard when in our recovery we were very selfish. I mean, outside of our recovery, we're very selfish and there was nothing about us that spoke humility. We were always up one-upping people. We were always thinking of ourself all the time, no matter who it hurt. We were never service to others. Um, we wanted to get the credit all the time. We didn't want anybody else to get the credit, whether it was worthy or not. Um, we never rooted with anybody, and we were never honest. So it's really the opposite, and so to get stronger in our recovery, to practice this humility is a spiritual exercise. And so we're gonna talk a little bit about that, in my recovery material, but I just wanted to give you an idea of what we're talking about. But this is a pathway to toughness. So let's come out of 2021 getting tough. And one way to do that is to practice humility. Study it, get to understand the term, do an inventory of yourself, check yourself. Um, are you working to be tough in your recovery? We talked all month about would anybody want your recovery? I had someone yesterday come in and tell me that there were things about my recovery that they did want to look into, that they wanted. And I thought, yes, I want more of that. I want to do more work around that so I can be that example, that someone can be attracted to me, to what I'm doing that keeps a smile on my face, that keeps me positive, that keeps me digging in and working and getting stronger and stronger in my walk in this world. That's what I want. So I want to go into 2022 working on spiritual toughness, getting tough. I have people tell me I'm tough. I'm really a softie and can cry at the drop of a hat and sometimes a scared little girl and I worry about everything and Um, Sometimes I'm so glad people can't see me in the quiet of the night when I am not tough at all, and I'm that scared person. I'm that person feeling not very, human anymore, right? We all have those days, but I want to get tougher. I want to rise up quicker. I want to have less and less of those nights and those days that rob me of my joy and keep me from living the life that I was put here to live. So 2022, I want us to go in and being tough. Let's be tough. All right, let's take a moment to read. Let's see who's out there. Christopher says, good morning. Just hopping on here to say, hey, love you, go Gamecocks. Yes. Yeah, we'll be doing the Gamecock game tomorrow. And thanks, Chris. Chris is an Alabama fan. And so his team will be playing in the big game. My little Gamecocks are playing in a mayonnaise bowl here in Charlotte. But I am grateful that they made it to a bowl. And maybe one day my team can be as uh, mighty like Chris's team, roll tide roll, right? But thanks, Chris. You have a good day too. Just know you are a badass as you want to be. Chris has joined us some months ago, and he has been a part of our PRN family and our Just for Today family. And that is one of the things that he claims about himself as he works hard in his recovery, that he's a badass. And I love that. So being a badass and being tough, right? Rolling into 2022, working on things that can toughen you up so you can be that bad, you know what, as you go in, that people will be drawn to your recovery, that you can stand up in those times, right? And one of the ways that we can practice that is humility. Miss Darling says, I have been robbed these last 2 months. My 2022 is to get tough. Thank you, PRN staff and other clients. Yes, right. If we are not tough, if we don't work on that spiritual part of us and get tough, we can actually feel that way, that we got robbed of our day. We got robbed of our week. Like, where did that week go? This has been crazy or whatever. You know, your days are too important. Your weeks are too precious to actually go, what in the world is happening to my life? I am being robbed of my life. So 2022, let's make a difference around that. So let's read a little bit about humility. So this is out of my recovery material. Humility was a tough concept to understand. I confused it with humiliation. I learned that humility is the quality of being modest or respectful. I learned that humiliation is the feeling or condition of being lessened in dignity or pride, the act of damaging someone's dignity or pride. Before recovery, I tried to control and manipulate others through humiliation. I was not respectful of others. I foolishly saw myself as smarter and more capable than others. I felt that I had all of the answers and therefore others should listen to me. These attitudes led me to more self-defeating behaviors. When my attempts to control others failed, I became angry and hurtful. By practicing humility, I realized that I am not above others in a position of power, nor are others above me. Isn't that freeing? To know that our higher power doesn't give us that we can control other people, that we have that kind of responsibility. I don't know about you, but I say thank you. So I want to quit doing that, right? I have no right to control, judge, or hurt those that do not agree with me. Humility also frees me to be respectful of myself. Now that I understand humility, I no longer sit in judgment of others. And that, just think about that. Once you practice and get good at this, you don't have to sit in judgment about others anymore. How how much waste of a time is that, right? Or allow others to judge me. I am kinder to myself as well as more accepting of my shortcomings. When I encounter a problem I cannot solve, I humbly ask for guidance from a higher power. I do this with respect. I do not beg and think of myself as inferior because I cannot solve this problem. I merely ask and wait for the answer. I have learned that humility is freeing. When I practice humility and turn my will over to the care of a power greater than myself, I open myself up to great possibilities. I accept that my higher power is in charge. I let it be my guiding force. I respect that others can do the same, and that decision is between them and their higher power. I remove myself from the need to compare myself to others and to judge. I can respect all. GOD, so just for today, the acronym for Good Orderly Direction. Today I will humbly turn my will over to a power greater than myself and follow that direction. So just for today, can we consider that prayer is, please listen to this if you don't hear anything else that I say out of my mouth in 2021, but listen. Prayer is not asking for what you think you want, but asking to be changed in ways you can't imagine. Prayer is not asking for what you think you want, but asking to be changed in ways you can't imagine. Humility. A few more things, and then we're going to see what you guys got to say about that and wrap it up. True humility is the opposite of arrogance. It is not submissive behavior, but modest willingness to surrender to a power greater than myself for guidance. Humility leads to strength and not to weakness. It is the highest form of self-respect to admit mistakes and to make amends for them. So humility. Can you do the next right thing when no one's looking? Can you let others have credit for the work? Can you stop trying to up everybody, one up everybody? Can you root for everybody? Are you a woman who fixes the crown of another queen who has stumbled? Or are you a woman that stands there and says, see there? Karma's a whatever. You deserved it. Something to think about as we end 2021, going into 2022. Are you a person who has humility? Have you practiced humility? Do you think it's something that just naturally happens? Do you think it's something you got to dig in and work on? Did you even understand the definition completely of humility, right? So my challenge to you going into 2022 is to use practicing humility as a way to get tough. Get tough as you go into 2022. That spiritual toughness. Do an inventory, guys. Look up humility. There's checklist after checklist after checklist of things that you can use to see if you are practicing humility in your life. That you have good, orderly direction, right? If you don't, if you're really, really honest about it, try getting tough going into 2022 and practice humility. Put yourself in situations, in places, and things that you can practice this. Really concentrate and be self-aware of your feelings when you're at work, right? Humility. Aaron says humility allows us to see others in their best light. Absolutely. Instead of seeing others as a threat, right? As someone that could be seen as better than us or smarter than us or prettier than us or whatever than us at our job or out in the community, right? Are you that person that can celebrate with someone, cheer someone else on, appreciate the opportunity to see this person in their best light? Or are you sitting back with your arms folded, judging? If you are, There's hope. I think we all, in one time or the other, had very little humility. There's hope. You can practice. This is something you can get strong on. You can get strong on pretty quick, but you got to be aware of it. So I challenge you as you go into 2022, look up the list of things. I read a few of them. There's a whole lot more that you can really sit and do an inventory on about you, because this is who you got to work on. And if you want to get tough in 2022, I challenge you. Is humility, is that something that somebody will use to describe your recovery? So and so, Lisa Kaye has humility. She has demonstrated humility by, right? Can someone say that about you? Can you say that about yourself? Do people see this in you? I challenge you, if you're thinking, oh my gosh, I don't think so. It's okay. There's hope. We all have been there. I am not where I need to be. And I'm so glad that I dug in and I found this, because I want to be tough. I don't want to be scared in my recovery. I do not want to be scared. And I want people to see that inner strength in me. I want my stories to be about hope and encouragement. I wanted to live it out every day, whether somebody understands completely the walk that I've been on, that they see toughness in my walk. And toughness is found in humility. If you can practice humility, if you can see the best in people and you can go down that checklist and you can check them off, you're getting tougher and tougher. You're tough. And that is one of the things I would like to be described as, is someone that's very tough in their recovery, that is not easily shaken. I can be shaken in my branches, but that my roots are strong. I want humility to ground my roots in the earth, in the recovery, nurturing earth that I have found, the serenity and the beautiful community of recovery that I see as my foundation, that my higher power has given me. It's very rich if I allow my roots to dig in deep and take in the nourishment. That's what I want to do. And I want humility to be the fertilizer of that, so I can get tough and I can weather the storms. Because guess what? 2022 is going to bring some storms. Absolutely, it will. It's not all going to be smooth sailing. And it's okay to rock with the wind, but I just don't want to blow over. I don't want to come uprooted and lose everything I've worked so hard for in my recovery. So, guys, I love you. I hope you guys have a very happy new year. Darlene is saying happy new year to everybody. Um, don't let anybody rob your day today. Don't let anybody go into 2022 dictating. Go into 2022 with humility. Add that to your recovery work each and every day. Journal about it, but keep it in front of you. So as we go into 2022 for Just for Today, we are going to continue touching on humility and a few other things that I think we need to keep, not a few, but some other things that I think we need to keep in front of us and talking about all the time. It's just that important. We can get very complacent. Guys, I love you. Heading to Charlotte, come on by and see us today if you can. We got classes going on, and just a lot of love and humility at PRN. So come see us. But guys, if I don't see you or talk to you before 2022 happens, I hope that you go into 2022 with your boxing gloves on, ready to be the Rocky Balboa or whatever, to be tough, to strengthen your recovery walk in 2022, so you can inspire hope for others and you can stay rooted in this rich, beautiful community of recovery. And humility is one of the ways that you can practice and get stronger and stronger. Let's see, Erin says, kiss the day with humility and it will kiss you back with loving passion. Absolutely. Kiss the day with humility. I love that, Erin. Thank you so much. What a great way to end our final Just for Today in 2021. And it's been an amazing year. It's been a difficult year, but it's also been a beautiful year. And a lot of times we have shared with each other on Just for Today what's going on with us, the good, bad, and ugly, right? but it's been a good year, and we're going to keep going stronger. Share this on your social media. You never know who needs to hear about humility. All of us have people on our social media that are in recovery or trying to get in recovery, or who are trying to find ways to stay in recovery. And everybody needs to hear about humility. So share this on your page, let it go out, and you never know who needs to hear about that today. But guys, you have a great day, and I'll see you next Monday at 6:30, and we'll start off our 2022 together in a beautiful way. I love you guys, and thank you for a great year with Just for Today, and all the beautiful things that we have laughed about on this class and cried about. And you guys love me enough to keep coming on and hugging on me and sending me great messages, and not only to me, but each other. But guys, you go out and have a great day, and we'll see you next year. Bye.